So, law of sines, law of cosines. Alright, law of sines and law of cosines allow us to work with non-90 degree or non-right triangles. Right, Jacob? Okay? So, what we want to be able to do is say we have a triangle like this. Right? How can I work with it? Well, there's a thing called law of sines. Okay? And the way law of sines works is really, really, really easy. You have A over sine A is equal to B over sine B, which equals C over sine C, right? Or we can do the opposite. Sine A over A is equal to sine B over B, which is equal to sine C over C. And remember, that means that we have an angle A, an angle B, and an angle C, and across from those angles are the sides. Little a, little b, little c. Okay? And that's how we deal with law of sines. Alright? So, if we were given that this angle is, say, 37 degrees, right? And that this side was 10, right? Then we need another angle or another side. But we have to have the angle and a side opposite of that angle to be able to use the law of sines. Okay? That's key. You have to have an angle and the side across from it to do law of sines. And if you have that, then you can use the law of sines. Right? And I need one more thing. I need an angle or a side. It doesn't matter which. Right? And so that would determine whether you use this one or this one, right? Because we always want the variable on top. If we have an angle, we want to use this one. That'll keep my variable on top. If we have a side, then we'll use this one, because that'll keep my variable on top. So we might as well use a side. That'll cover what we did yesterday too, right? The inverse. This is the hardest it gets. It doesn't get any harder than this. Okay? So if I get another side, let's say that that side is C. Okay? Then what is C, or we can do B, it doesn't matter. But what is C equal to? What do you want it equal to?
24.
24. Okay? So we got a 24 and a 10, and then we got to figure out what B is going to be. If this is 37 degrees. Now hopefully this works. Sometimes it doesn't, right? Because if it's 24 and 10, right? That means that this side, well, we'll just plug it in and see if it works. Okay? Now, since the side I'm looking for, or the angle I'm looking for, it depends on what I'm looking for, right? But if I'm looking for an angle, let's say the angle is C, right? So I'm looking for this angle, right? Then how will I find that angle? So I'm looking for this angle, right? So I'm going to say that sine, do I want this on top or do I want it on bottom if I'm looking for it? If I'm looking for it, I want it top. If you don't know it, you want it on top. Okay? So we want to use this guy. So we're going to say that the sine of A, which is 37 degrees, over little a, which is 10, is equal to the sine of C, which we have no idea what C is, right? Over 24. So how do I get the sine of C by itself? What am I going to do?
Inverse.
Huh?
Inverse.
Not quite yet.
Not yet.
First we got to get this by itself.
Okay.
Cross multiplication.
We could cross multiply and then divide by 10, or just multiply by 24, right? And that gets C, sine C by itself. But you are exactly right. If you cross multiply, right? If we decided to say what sine 37 over 10 is equal to sine C over 24, then you cross multiply, right? You would get 24 sine 37 is equal to 10 sine C, and now you would divide by 10, right? All we did was put an extra step, that's all. No big deal. So if you're more comfortable with that method, go with it. Okay? But what we get to is sine, or 24 sine 37 over 10 is equal to sine C. Now how do we get C by itself? If we're looking for an angle, inverse, right? Good. Simple. So we got sine inverse of all of this stuff. Of all that stuff. Okay? That's what this is. 24 sine 37 all over 10. That's it. That equals C. And it can't get harder than that. That's as hard as it gets. Then you plug it in your calculator. I have one. Alright. So we take this and we say sine 37, right? Or we could say 24 times sine 37, right? And then hit equals. I get 14.4. Right? Then divide. Okay? Divide it by 10. What do you think I'm going to get? Come on, people. 1.444, right? Okay, so let's just move the decimal over one, right? But then I'm taking the sine inverse of that. Now, how do you do that on the calculator? You can write the number down and then plug it in, right? Or hit second sine. That gives you your sine inverse, right? And then second and the negative sign, because that gives you your answer back. Okay? Second answer. And then hit equals. And it's error. It doesn't work. Right? Because that number was too big. So instead of 24, could we use 14? Maybe that would work. Okay? And then when we come down and use 14 in all of this, right? And so what would we get? We would get 14 times, 14 times sine 37, right? Equals, divided by 10, equals, now I'm getting, I got 8.4, which is 0.8. This should work because it's less than 1, right? Then I hit the second sign and then second negative and 57 degrees. So 57.4 degrees. So when I do all this, I get 57.4 degrees, right? For C. Now, if I know that 57.4 degrees, do I know the B? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Because how can I find out B? 180 minus 37 plus 57.4, right? Because they have to add up to be 180 degrees, right? So I just take that plus 37 equals, and then subtract 180, I get negative 85.5 something. So what I'm going to get is 85.6, because I want these to add up to, since I rounded off, right? All right, so now I know all these angles. Can I find B?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I find B, okay, it's going to be the same way we did this, but with,
Sides.
yeah. So I can use sine A, right? But what do I want on top? In this case, what do I want on top? If I'm looking for B.
B.
B. Yeah, you want B on top. So now I'm going to do A over sine A, right, is equal to B over the sine of B. Right? And then how do I solve for that? Multiply by the sine of 85.6. The sine of 85.6. So I got 10 sine 85.6 divided by the sine of 37 is equal to B. Right? And so now I just plug that in the calculator. 10 times the sine of 85.6, and then I hit equals, right? And then divide by the sine of 37 and hit equals, and I get 16.56, so 16.6, okay? So I get 16.6, okay? So I found all of these, and this is what you'll be doing. But that's just one of the things, okay? Now we'll push pause and do law of cosines. Yum, yum. Eat it up.